Well, all right now, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do a little soliloquy here today, see what we got going on. I need some mulch for the old home place here, so we're going to get a few scoops of mulch. I don't need a bunch, but I do need a couple wheelbarrows full or so. So we're going to be getting a little bit of mulch and loading down with that. And then I got to split some good burning wood. We got some oak wood over there I bucked up last video. And there's a bunch of good dead standing oak right here that'll be bone dry. Some of it might be too far gone to even burn, but I've tested some of it and it's very good wood. But some of this behind the camera might be a little too far gone, but we're going to be working on that coming up here in the next few videos sometime. So when I'm done loading this wood, I will turn around and show you what I'm talking about. But go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and watch some damn videos. So let me get loaded up on this mulch here. I brought a little plastic liner to kind of help me contain this in my truck, because I got a ribbed bed liner in there and I don't really want to. I thought this would maybe make it easier for me to kind of pull it out, just kind of slide it out once I get home here. That's what she said. All right, so that's actually pretty good. All right, so we'll throw that in here. I guess that would work. Okay, start throwing some mulch. So there's our mulch. Probably going to use some of that for my green giants. Now, let's move on to splitting some wood. But first, let me show you this dead standing oak. All right, everybody, here's that oak wood. And that piece right there makes it look pretty bad. So I don't know if I want to mess with that, but this one here on the left looks pretty good, as you can see there. Now that big one certainly looks good, but that's pretty big. If you deal with wood, once they start getting up over about 25 inches, they're pretty big. And that one's a 30-inch plus, I don't know, but it's probably over 30. And that's a nice little chunk of wood here. Now that one is a little bit sharp, but you could make wood out of that. You just have to noodle it down if you felt like handling it. But I could noodle that down into some strips and make wood out of that. I do not mind. And there's another piece of wood over here. So that might be some good burning wood. It certainly will be dry. And there's a whole other pile of it over here that I've tested. And it was very good wood. Nice and dry on the inside. So there's a little bit more of it over here. And that's just some dry oak wood. That's the kind of wood you split open and in 2 weeks it's just bone dry. So that'll be really good to get going. And I may do some more sycamore one day. It is a little bit difficult to split that wood, but you never know. It sure is pretty wood to have around. I mean, that sure is pretty to look at. And there's something to be said for that. Some people like that. Alrighty, so anyways, let's get back over here and split this other oak that I got to split now. All right, now everybody, let's give this little thing a blow. I haven't done that for a while. That's what she said now. Okay, now you can see all this oak wood around me, and it's probably off the camera both ways. I don't know, there's probably about 40 of them. I think there was 8 rounds, and I noodled them twice. So whatever 8 times 4 is, I cut them one way, then cut those in half again. So each one has at least 4, and then there's a couple extra. So anyways, now we're going to be splitting some wood here. I'm going to just put y'all on a little bit of a high speed, do a little wood splitting. Hopefully get all this done tonight, and then we'll be moving on to that dead standing oak probably next time. No idea, but here we go now. All right, everybody, we're going to get this thing fired up, and I have talked before about how this fuel tank doesn't have a fuel strainer on it. But after doing further research, this has a keeper on it. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a keeper that keeps this cap from falling. So you can't put a fuel strainer in there unless you cut that keeper wire off and throw the keeper away, which is how they work when you have a fuel strainer on them. That's how my Power Connects is you just have to take the top off of that thing and set it down. And so I haven't decided yet if I'm going to buy that and cut this wire off my top and get rid of my keeper yet. I could do that, because when I filled it up with gas last time and looked down in there, there was all these particles of sawdust floating around in there. And I think there is a fuel filter, and it's inside the tank. There's like a barb fitting, and it has a screw-on filter that sticks up inside the tank. And I think that's the only filter on this particular model of Briggs & Stratton. They got thousands of models of engines that they produce, and this same engine is produced with and without a fuel strainer, but this particular batch number and model number and everything does not have the strainer. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Right now I just said, well, I guess I'll just leave it if that's the way it came and it has a warranty. I've tried to be very careful, but there's so much fine sawdust all over this engine that every time you open it, it collects little bits of dust in there. So I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts, I guess. Anyways, let me go ahead and get fired up now, start making some wood. Got all that wood split. It was a pretty good amount of wood. I filled in my little hole there, that little dip in the pile. Like I said, probably about a quart of wood. Took me about 3 hours. So I thought I could do it in 2 maybe, but it took 3. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, good morning, whatever it is. And this wood will be ready to go here in January. So we'll see you next time.